Hello, I want to talk to you about the habit of drinking water, which is possibly the most important health habit, is consistently drinking water. But with that, there comes a few problems. And I think the main one is that water can be easily contaminated with all kinds of different toxins. So I want to talk just for a minute about those toxins, and then I want to talk about solutions. I've been thinking about this a long time. So you're probably getting your drinking water and your bathing water from either the city water, or you're getting it from well water. And both of those present problems, okay, that we need to overcome. And you can actually go to your city website. So your city will have a report of what water toxins are found in the city water. And you can just go look. Now, they're required to meet certain standards from the EPA and other agencies. But even with that, city water certainly is not acceptable drinking water, not by my standards. I think it's going to cause a lot of problems for you. You're not going to reach good levels of health. But then this just a list of what they say is in the city water within acceptable limits, but they do make sure that it's below a certain limit. You've got microorganisms like bacteria and viruses. They do a pretty good job taking care of those, I think. And they do that by adding chlorine to the water. Some cities will also add fluoride to the water. And last I read, Nampa and Caldwell, where my clinic, most of my patients come from, do not add fluoride to the water. But fluoride is found naturally in water in small amounts. Other things could be lead, arsenic, and uranium. So Dr. Todd Watts, one of my friends who was the owner of Cellcore supplements, he said this is actually a big problem. You know, here in Idaho, that we get these radioactive materials can make it into our water. Other things you might find are crop protection chemicals, including herbicides and pesticides. Okay, these can get into our water. And so we really want to do a good job with that. You can find those things in well water also. I think it's because well water is not consistently maintained by a public employee. Something that you just want to stay on top of. You might want to get someone out to come check your well from time to time. They can get contaminated with bacterial infections and different things. And so we just really want to make sure that we're drinking clean water. In fact, we have a saying, consider that every symptom that you're experiencing is caused by a deficiency of water until you've proven that you're drinking enough water. So you can cause almost any symptom, you just really need a lot of water. So I'm going to give you some solutions here today. And I've been working through this for the past 14, 15 years. And these are the solutions where I'm at today. And I think that they're very good solutions and they'll really help you out, okay? So first one is getting a reverse osmosis water filter, okay? So we've got one that's under our sink here, and we can just turn it on and get fresh, clean water. So it's using the city water that comes into our house, and it runs through a filter here that's under our sink. And if you can see, it's got multiple filters that it goes through and is stored in a tank. It's very effective, okay? Now there's all kinds of different reverse osmosis units. There's some that you can put on the counter. That's not what I was going for. We want one below the counter. I have a friend who's a really smart colleague of mine, and her brother's an engineer, and they thought they found this great RO filter, and they really liked it, and I drank it, and my wife drank it, and we just felt awful. So it does matter which RO filter you get. We found one that's very affordable, that was recommended by a lot of these doctors who mentored me and who I trust. They said, you got to go to Fred Van Loo. He's the water guy. His website is ewater.com. And I'll put some links for all of these recommendations in the comments of the video. So we got our water filter from Fred Van Loo. He also has You can get pitchers, and we got a shower filter that's worth considering. I felt like my skin wasn't doing well because, you know, RO water can only filter your drinking water. It takes a lot of water and it's very hard to make that RO water. So you can't do it for your whole house. So, but you can get a shower filter and that can protect your skin more. Okay. So that's my top recommendation. For years, I did use a Berkey filter, which I think is very good. It's not as good. It's not going to filter out forever chemicals that are found in the water and the soil. It's not going to filter out pesticides as well, specifically the glyphosate is a herbicide. And some of the different things, fluoride, chloride, unless you get additional filters, it's not going to do as good of a job. But yeah, you know, a carbon, so the Berkey filter is a double cylinder gravity carbon filter, and it's very good. We kind of stopped using that a few years ago, but then there's some other brands. One that's very similar is called Boroux, looks French. And then Brita is just one that a lot of people put right on their faucet or have a pitcher. I think it's also very good. You do have to replace the filters pretty often. So, you know, you need something. And these are ones that work all right. Okay, so that's what we do when we're at home. And when we travel, what do you do then? I'm not going to drink water from an airport water fountain or from a hotel or wherever it may be. So we always try and get some RO bottled water. And the brand that I really like there is Niagara. Now this says Kirkland because Niagara will give their water to all these different companies like Walmart. You can find Niagara at any Walmart. You can find it at Costco. And you just gotta look for you can't see it here on the camera, but you can find at the bottom of the bottle. It says Niagara engraved in the plastic. That's the one I really like. I've tried all kinds of different spring waters and different waters, and that by far is the one that I really like, and it's widely available, so that's what I recommend. There's different water bottle filters you can get. So this is a Life Straw. I think it's good. You know, it's better than nothing. So if I absolutely have to drink some water from one of those places, then I just run it through this water bottle filter, and it's all right. It's not as good as this. Yes, I'm aware that this has microplastics in it. It's still better than all the toxins that you're going to get in city water and elsewhere. So not ideal to be drinking from plastic, but this is better than most of the other options. Okay, so that's as far as drinking water. Some other considerations for water is going to be, especially if you are on well water, consider getting a whole house filter. And this will also protect your piping and your plumbing. So that's not something that is also worth considering. But it also, the one that we have here on our house is called a Wickamore whole house filter. And it has a UV light that the water will pass through also, and that will kill any microorganisms, bacteria, virus, that sort of thing. Okay, the last thing to consider using is more of a consideration for your house, but also for your skin, is getting a water softener. So a water softener will protect your whole house filter, it'll protect all your plumbing, and then it will help your skin. So it just feels softer on your skin, but it also, hard water does not wash, it doesn't clean your skin as well. It doesn't get soap and dirt off your skin as well as soft water. That is a higher price point than these other options that I recommended. At the time of making this video, there's some great sales, some Black Friday sales for Ewater and for some of these other companies. And so it's nice to take advantages of sales like that when they have them. You can get the RO filter right now for $700. I think normally it's $900. But they oftentimes will run sales at different times of the year. Okay, so those are considerations for water. I want to talk briefly about air Also, now there's some people who are going to be more susceptible to problems with air than other people. In general, you want to be drinking clean water. You want to be breathing clean air, right? So there is a filter with your house. You just want to make sure you're always replacing that filter. You want to make sure that you are always taking care of your home and cleaning your home. Those are really important things to be doing on a regular basis. And consider reducing the amount of carpet in the home. So in our main living area, we took out the carpet. Okay, that's something we're considering doing for our bedrooms as well. But yeah, let's look at the air filter. So come on this way. This is a beast of an air filter. So we went with the Air Doctor, which was recommended by one of my colleagues who specializes in mold toxicity. So we had a home that we lived in that had mold, had problems with mold, and it was an older house, had asbestos and all kinds of things. And we moved to our new house. We wanted to be breathing really clean air because those airborne toxins can really take a big toll on your body. So if you live in a house that's pretty moldy, you have to take care of that. If you can't take care of it, you have to move out. If it can really affect your health. Some people affect more than others. Okay, so the Air Doctor is one that I like, and that's worked well for our family, but a lot of them I think are pretty comparable. This has a HEPA and a carbon filter. So if I was to open it up, we've got a pre-filter here, and we've got a carbon filter. I think these ones need to be replaced every 6 months, so it is a little bit of an expense. And then a HEPA filter needs to be replaced every year. And so it's really easy to install and replace. We have dogs, so we want to be taking care of our air that way too. And bathing our dogs regularly. That's another something to consider. Okay, so I've been wanting to do this video for a while, talk about how to take care of your water and your air, and really important, I mean, you're breathing air all the time, you need to be drinking water all the time, and so take some of these things into consideration. Thanks.